All right, we're back. Today we're going to talk about Temple of the Ancients, specifically the music for Listen to the Cries of the Planet, the normal and battle edit, because oh my gosh, these are so good. And I have a lot to say about them, including how they relate to other parts of the game, like the Nibelheim flashbacks. So let's dive right in. Whew. Let me just say, when I heard this track in-game, my heart just dropped into my stomach. I mean, they did such a good job with the atmosphere in this temple. It just puts such a good, ominous spin on it, regardless of if you've heard the original or not, but especially if you have, I think. And like, if you were to compare this to the version of this track we already got in Remake, 7 Seconds Till the End, that one was fantastic as well, but it sounded more melancholic, whereas this really sounds like, oh no, something really bad is about to happen. It's got that same kind of synthy feel with the ostinato as the original. What's really cool is where it leads to, right here. Okay, let's talk about the theme of time in this game. The passage of time, the counting down of time, the bells of fate, which of course, you know, the big bell motif that is so integral in Sephiroth's themes. In all of media, it's used to denote fate knocking on your door, something bad about to happen, something inevitable, which of course is extremely relevant in this track and in this part of the game. There was a lot of time-related imagery in the original Temple of the Ancients, mostly in terms of like that one room with the clock. Even the original Temple of the Ancients theme, which I know is not the same actual track that we're listening to now, because this is the music for the Forgotten Capital, not Temple of the Ancients. But even the music in Temple of the Ancients is referencing time. We have the tubular bell sounds as well as the sounds that imitate a cuckoo clock. In Rebirth, they reference this so much. They just like hit you over the head with it. From the clock imagery in the City of Guardia, in the Loveless play, to that weird little several hours earlier transition that they use in Temple of Ancients. They're like really trying to drive home that this is important. This is part of the story they're trying to tell here. And this track really leans into that as well. Of course, also the tubular bells are a huge part of Sephiroth's themes, like those chosen by the planet. So as we listen to this track, pay attention to how often you hear clock sounds, other like imagery relating to time referenced in here, because it is all over the place. This little chimey sound, I don't know what instrument it's meant to be. Probably a designed instrument, but this ching, 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 ching sound that you hear, that just reminds me of like grandfather clock sounds, along with a tick, tick that we get on every like 4 bars or so now instead of on every bar, but it's still there. Notice how we also have this low piccolo, I think, that just snuck in there, playing the melody ostinato up a fifth, just to add to the eeriness of this ostinato that's been just going on the whole time. Drums adding tension. Do you hear how the little chimey instrument is now going chicka, 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 chicka? It's just ramped up a little bit more. We're still hearing the big tick-tock clock sounds. We've still got this bass drum boom that's just adding to the inevitability of the tension that's rising throughout this part. love those little harmonic changes. What is this? Talk about setting a mood. That kind of synth riser that we have there, which kind of reminds me of the music we heard in the Nibelheim flashback during this part that is not on the official soundtrack, but there's a lot of this kind of risers up and down. I'll throw an example here just as a reference. But yeah, it just adds to this like, oh, I am uncomfortable right now. I do not feel safe at all. And of course we still have bum 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 in the bass clarinet just tucked in right here. So creepy. Okay, this section here, oh, when I first heard it, I was just like, wow, what is this? Of course, the visuals in this area, you know, it makes total sense. It just fits the ambiance so well with what is happening visually in the game, but it's just so out there. It's just so weird and different and like, da-da-da, da-da-da, played in like the contrabassoon doubling with double bass, I think, just adding this really buzzy sound that just kind of cuts through. And then later on the bass clarinet joins as well. This is such good orchestration. It's just really a distinct sound that really adds to the weight of this part. And da-da, da-da, this like oscillating back and forth on the half step. It's kind of like the reverse Jaws motive. Da-da, 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 da-da. But it's actually foreshadowing Sephiroth's theme about to come in, those chosen by the planets. Da-da-da, da-da-da. Da, 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 da. It does a lot of this going back a half step in that theme. So it's just kind of foreshadowing it without you realizing that that's what it's doing. But as we listen to this part of the track, we realize how well it's setting us up for what is to come. Let's keep listening. I love this little moment, this string line that's just kind of developing where we were. Da 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 da. Now da 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 da. It's just seamlessly taking us into the next section. And I also want to point out the neatest thing about this. We have an alto flute doubling the strings, which I don't know if you've heard me say how much I love when flutes double strings, but we have this alto flute in the low register doubling the strings down low. And what's really neat about this is that there's one other time in the game where I really noticed an alto flute at the forefront like this and it pulled my attention. And that was in the Nibelheim flashback. So I'm just gonna show you that spot here. It's the music that plays when you go into the Shinra mansion right before confronting Sephiroth. Hear those bells? There's also that beautiful cello solo as a counterpart, which remember that for later. So we have this beautiful, juicy alto flute prominently displayed here in the ominous track that features bells right before we go to confront Sephiroth. So going back to this, we have this section here, right? Sephiroth Theme alluded to. Very subtle. Alto flute. Elaborating on that figure. Do you see what they did? So Shotaro Shima is the one responsible for this game in Rebirth, and we don't know if he wrote the track for Shinra Mansion in the flashback because it's not on the official soundtrack, but he did do a lot of the music in the flashback sequence, so I think it's safe to say, based on just looking at his style, that he did it. So when we go to Shinra Mansion, we hear this ominous alto flute with bells and solo cello just setting us up for when we go confront Sephiroth. And here we hear the same alto flute right before the Sephiroth theme appears. This is just peak musical storytelling, okay? I'm just really psyched about this one. Bells. It's neat because Sephiroth's theme here is usually in 4. Da da da, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, da da da. But here it's in 3. Da da da, da da da, da da da. It puts an emphasis on a different part of the phrase, which makes it just sound a little more unsettling because it's different than how you're used to hearing it. Plus, did you notice that after we had the tubular bells, the little ching 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 chime instrument came back in, the one that sounds like a clock? Back to the beginning. No resolution, just right back to that heart in your stomach, unsettling feeling. Did you notice there was a solo cello playing that phrase right before this? And also that riser return, that just to make it even more unsettling. Ooh, it's just so much. Let's listen to that again. Contrabassoon. It's just such a good transition right back into where it started. There's no resolution. It just seamlessly flows before you even realize that it's coming back. It's so good. All right, let's move on to the battle edit. What an opening. There's just so much energy and so much going on. We have the listen to the cries motif, except now it's in a quick waltz type feel. Da 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 da. The bells are back. Of course, I have to mention that da 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 is Genova. This is a clear reference to Genova, not just because of the rhythm, but the chords are very similar as well. I'm gonna throw up here for reference. It's just so good. This really frantic string runs doubled with the winds and other stuff. Kind of reminds me actually of Prokofiev's Third Piano Concerto. But yeah, it's just such a great way to establish all this energy just right out of the gate. Oh, this part. If you know me, you know I love a dark waltz. I just love things that are in triple meter and have this flow kind of feel to them. And I feel like we don't get that with battle tracks that often. I mean, I know there are some, but it doesn't feel nearly as common as irregular meters or just 4/4 meters. Also, notice that we have really evocative percussion, this really eerie sound of like skeleton bones crunching, which is also reminiscent of the sound design in the Cosmo Canyon areas that were relevant to this one. There's also hemiolas going on, which is when an alternate time meter is implied within another. So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, but we also have 1 and we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 1, 2 going on at the same time right here. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, and 2, and 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, did you catch that? First we had 2 and 3 in the same bar. Now we're in 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 3 plus 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I mentioned before that these are Shotaro Shima's tracks, and I've noticed he's very fond of swapping between meters a lot as well as using irregular meters. And oh, it's so good. It's so effective. Do you hear in the synth underneath? It's subtle, but it's still there. It never leaves. Sephiroth's theme. Dun, 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 dun. And just like when we heard it in the other version, in the main track, da 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 da. It's da 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 da. Da, 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 da. Putting the emphasis on a different beat to kind of throw it off and make it feel off balance. But the fact that it's in 5 also helps to drive it forward, because instead of being da 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 da, right? It's da 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 da. You have one less beat there. This is why regular time signatures can be really effective in battle tracks, because when there's like a beat missing that you would normally expect, it just kind of helps to propel it forward. This horn line here, to me, sounds very reminiscent of another track that Shotaro Shima wrote for this game called Demon Gates, which we're going to discuss in its own video next time, because I cannot believe we are not talking more about this track. It is like the best battle track in the game. But anyway, dun 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 dun. It's just something about the contour is very similar. I don't know if that's intentional or if it's just Shima's style, but it just helps add to the continuity of the section, I think. Suddenly cello. Suddenly a cello solo. It's a very simple solo, just based on a chromatic scale. Da 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 da. And then a little harmonic minor riff. Da 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 da. So remember when I said to pay attention to the cello solos that we heard? We heard the one coupled with the alto flute in Shinra Mansion that kind of alluded to Sephiroth's presence. We heard it in the regular version of Listen to the Cries of the Planet here. We're hearing it now. There's another moment where a very brief but impactful cello solo appears, and it's also in the Nibelheim flashback. Listen to this. It's so good. It's just a simple solo, again, like the one we just heard in Listen to the Cries of the Planet. And yet, something about it makes me think these two are connected. It's another little riff around the harmonic minor in a piece that is so blatantly related to Sephiroth. I just feel like it's consistent storytelling. All right, let's go listen to the one and listen to the cries again now that you've heard that, and let me know what you think. Also, did you notice that when the cello came in, we went back to 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But as soon as the cello left, we went right back into 5. Did you hear that riser that came back up? Just like the one that bridged us back to the beginning of the regular version of Listen to the Cries of the Planet. There are so many subtle connections in these tracks. I mean, if you really dig into it, there's just so much going on, and I love it so much. So let me know what you thought of this one. Next time we're gonna do Demon Gates, and I am so excited to go through that one because it is definitely one of my absolute favorite tracks in this entire soundtrack, and I don't think we're giving it enough attention. So as always, let me know what you think, and thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.